Have you ever walked through a park or a forest and just looked around? You might see tall trees, small flowers, bushy shrubs, and maybe some moss growing on a rock. All that variety, all those different kinds of plants living together. That, my friends, is plant biodiversity. It's the incredible range of plant life on our amazing planet. Think of it as a giant, beautiful tapestry woven with countless different green threads. Each thread is a unique plant species, from the tiniest blade of grass to the most gigantic redwood tree. This variety isn't just about looks, it's about the genetic information inside each plant, the special instructions that make it what it is. With over 390,000 known plant species, and so many more still waiting to be discovered, our world is a living library of incredible green wonders. This variety is not just pretty to look at, it is the very foundation of our existence. Consider this. Everything we eat, much of the air we breathe, and many of the medicines that keep us healthy come from plants. Plant biodiversity is the engine that keeps our planet's life support systems running smoothly. It ensures that ecosystems, those communities of living things interacting with their environment, are strong and resilient. When there is a wide variety of plants, nature has more options. If one type of plant struggles because of a disease or change in climate, other plants can step in to fill its role, keeping the whole system stable. It's a safety net for all life on Earth, including us. Imagine a world with only one or two kinds of plants. It would be a very boring and very dangerous place to live. That lack of variety would make our food supply incredibly fragile and our environment unstable. Plant biodiversity provides us with a rich palette of resources. Different plants have different properties. Some are good for food, some produce fibers for clothes, some hold soil in place with their roots, and others contain compounds that can be turned into life-saving drugs. The more types of plants we have, the more solutions we have for the challenges we face. From feeding a growing population to finding new ways to heal sickness, it's the ultimate biological toolkit for humanity. So, when we talk about plant biodiversity, we're talking about the sum total of all plant life in all its forms. It's the genetic code hidden within a single seed, the unique shape of a flower petal, and the complex web of life that a forest supports. It is the result of millions of years of evolution, a precious inheritance that we all share. Protecting this green tapestry is one of the most important jobs we have, because its threads are woven into every single aspect of our lives. Without this vibrant variety, the world as we know it simply couldn't exist. It's the hidden backbone that supports everything. Science is all about connections, and the science of ecology is the ultimate study of how everything is linked together. Ecology looks at how living things, which scientists call biotic factors, interact with each other and with the non-living things around them, the abiotic factors. Think about a single plant. It's not just sitting there by itself. It's connected to the sunlight that gives it energy, the water in the soil that it drinks, and the air that provides it with carbon dioxide. It's also connected to the bees that pollinate its flowers, the birds that eat its seeds, and the worms that enrich the soil around its roots. Everything is part of a grand, interconnected system. Plants are the master connectors in these ecosystems. They are what we call primary producers, meaning they make their own food using energy from the sun. This makes them the starting point for almost every food chain on the planet. An insect eats the plant's leaves, a bird eats the insect, and a hawk might eat the bird. It all begins with the plant's ability to capture sunlight. This flow of energy is what powers the entire living world. Without plants to form the base of this pyramid of life, there would be nothing for all the other creatures, known as consumers, to eat. They are the bridge between the non-living world of sunlight and minerals, and the living world of animals and fungi. These connections extend far beyond just food. Plants physically shape their environments. The roots of trees and grasses hold soil together, preventing it from washing away during heavy rains. This is called preventing soil erosion, and it's incredibly important for keeping our land fertile and our rivers clean. The leaves of a large forest canopy create shade, which cools the ground below and creates a unique, humid microclimate where other specific plants and animals can thrive. Plants also release water vapor into the air through a process called transpiration, which can influence local weather patterns and contribute to rainfall. It's a beautiful, self-regulating system where plants are both residents and architects of their world, The sun is the ultimate driver of these global systems. Its energy doesn't just feed plants, it also heats our planet, creating wind and ocean currents that distribute warmth and moisture all around the globe. This creates different climates, from hot, dry deserts to cold, snowy tundras. And in each of these different zones, or biomes, unique communities of plants have adapted to survive and thrive. Cacti in the desert have special ways to store water, while evergreen trees in the north have needles that can withstand the cold. These amazing adaptations show how deeply plants are connected to their specific abiotic environments, each one perfectly suited for its place in the world. If you were to give plants a job title, it would have to be planet's ultimate multitaskers. Their to-do list is enormous, and they perform their tasks so perfectly that we often take them for granted. One of their most important jobs is balancing our planet's atmosphere. Through photosynthesis, they breathe in the carbon dioxide that we and other animals breathe out, and in return, they release the oxygen that we need to live. Every breath you take is a gift from the plant world. They are the green lungs of our planet, constantly working to keep the air fresh and breathable for countless species, including us. This is a planetary-scale service that no machine could ever replicate. Another critical role plants play is protecting and managing our water supplies. Think of a forest as a giant, living sponge. When it rains, the leaves and branches of the trees slow the raindrops down, allowing the water to gently soak into the ground instead of running off in a flood. The roots of plants help create channels in the soil, which helps recharge underground aquifers, our natural subterranean water reservoirs. This process also filters the water, cleaning it as it seeps down through the layers of soil and roots. By preventing soil from washing into rivers and streams, plants keep our waterways clear and healthy, which is vital for both aquatic life and for the communities that depend on those rivers for drinking water. Of course, plants are the source of our food. Every fruit, vegetable, grain, and nut you eat comes directly from a plant, but it goes deeper than that. The animals that provide meat, milk, and eggs also depend on plants for their food. A cow grazes on grass, a chicken pecks at seeds. The energy in that steak or that omelet originally came from the sun and was captured by a plant. Beyond food, plants provide us with shelter and materials. We build our homes from wood, we make paper from wood pulp, and we weave clothes from plant fibers like cotton and linen. From the coffee that wakes us up to the wooden chair we sit on, our daily lives are built upon the generosity of the plant kingdom. Plants are also nature's architects, providing homes and shelter for an incredible number of animals. A mighty oak tree is not just one organism, it's an entire apartment complex. Birds build nests in its branches, squirrels make homes in its hollows, insects live in its bark, and deer find shelter from the sun under its leaves. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, depend on a partnership with tiny algae that live inside the coral, providing them with food through photosynthesis. From the smallest insect to the largest elephant, animals rely on plants for food, protection from predators, and a safe place to raise their young. Plants create the habitats that allow biodiversity to flourish. So, how do plants do it all? How do they create the food that powers almost all life on Earth? The answer is a truly amazing process called photosynthesis. You can think of it like a plant making a sandwich for lunch, but instead of bread and cheese, it uses sunlight, water, and air. It's the most important chemical reaction on our planet, and it all happens inside the plant's leaves, specifically in tiny little green parts called chloroplasts. These chloroplasts are like microscopic solar-powered kitchens, and they contain a special ingredient called chlorophyll, which is the pigment that makes plants green and is the key to the whole process. The recipe for a sunlight sandwich is pretty simple. The plant needs 3 main ingredients. First, it needs carbon dioxide, which it gets from the air. Plants have tiny pores on their leaves, like little mouths called stomata, that open up to breathe in this gas. Second, it needs water, which its roots absorb from the soil and pull up through its stem all the way to the leaves. And third, it needs the most important ingredient of all energy from sunlight. The chlorophyll inside the chloroplasts is brilliant at absorbing the energy from the sun's rays, like a tiny solar panel. It captures this light energy and holds onto it, getting ready for the magic to happen. Once the plant has all its ingredients, the chemical reaction begins. Inside the chloroplasts, the captured sunlight energy is used to split the water molecules into their basic parts, hydrogen and oxygen. The plant doesn't need the oxygen, so it releases it back into the air through its stomata. This is the very oxygen that we breathe. The plant then takes the hydrogen it saved from the water and combines it with the carbon dioxide it took from the air. This combination creates a type of sugar called glucose. This sugar is the plant's food. It's a perfect, energy-packed meal that the plant can use right away to grow or store for later. This simple-sounding process is the engine for our world. The sugar that the plant creates is pure stored energy from the sun. When an animal eats the plant, it's getting that stored energy. When another animal eats that first animal, the energy is passed along again. So, whether you're eating a salad or a hamburger, the energy you're getting started its journey in a sunbeam that was captured by a plant. Photosynthesis doesn't just feed the plant, it feeds the world. It's the beautiful, elegant process that turns light into life. And it's happening all around us, all the time, in every green leaf on the planet. Imagine if you only ate 3 types of food for every single meal, every single day. What would happen if the stores suddenly ran out of those 3 foods? You'd be in big trouble. Well, on a global scale, that's almost exactly what humanity is doing. A mind-boggling 80% of all the food that humans consume comes from just 20 types of plants. Think about it. Corn, wheat, and rice alone provide more than half of the world's calories. We have built our entire global food system on a very small and narrow foundation, and this creates a huge and very fragile vulnerability for all of us. This heavy reliance is like balancing a massive pyramid on a tiny point. This lack of diversity in our food supply is risky for several reasons. When we grow vast fields of a single crop, known as monocultures, we create a perfect environment for pests and diseases to spread like wildfire. If a new fungus or insect appears that targets, say, a specific variety of wheat, it can wipe out entire harvests across huge regions. This has happened before, like with the Irish potato famine in the 1840s, where a reliance on one variety of potato led to mass starvation when a disease struck. By not using the wide variety of plants available to us, we are missing out on species that might be naturally resistant to new diseases or better suited to changing climates. Furthermore, our focus on these few high-yield crops means we are ignoring thousands of other edible and nutritious plants. All over the world, there are traditional and heirloom varieties of fruits, vegetables, and grains that have been cultivated by communities for generations. These plants are often better adapted to local conditions and can be more resilient to drought or pests. However, as global agriculture focuses more on a few superstar crops, these diverse local varieties are being lost. We are losing not just the plants themselves, but the genetic library of traits they hold, traits that could be crucial for breeding new, hardier crops in the future. This fragility is a serious threat to our food security. As the world's climate continues to change, bringing more droughts, floods, and unpredictable weather, our main crops will be put under more and more stress. What if the areas where we currently grow most of our corn or rice become too hot or too dry? Having a wider portfolio of food plants would be like having a good insurance policy. We would have other options to turn to, plants that can grow in different conditions. By broadening our agricultural base and embracing plant biodiversity, we can create a more resilient, stable, and secure food system for the generations to come. If we want to know what the single biggest threat to plant biodiversity is, the answer is clear and devastating. It's habitat destruction. A plant can't just pack its bags and move to a new town if its home is destroyed. It's rooted in its place. Habitat destruction is the process by which a natural environment is damaged or destroyed so much that it can no longer support the species that live there. This happens for many reasons, but it often follows a predictable chain reaction. As the human population grows, we need more land to build our cities, and most significantly, to grow our food. This demand for agricultural land is the primary driver of deforestation and the clearing of natural landscapes worldwide. The scale of this destruction is staggering. Every minute, areas of rainforest the size of several football fields are cut down or burned. These forests are the most biodiverse places on Earth, home to millions of species of plants and animals, many of which haven't even been discovered yet. When these forests are cleared, it's not just the trees that are lost. It's the entire intricate ecosystem, the unique flowers, the medicinal herbs, the complex network of fungi in the soil, and all the creatures that depend on them. We are essentially bulldozing a priceless library of life before we've even had a chance to read the books. This destruction isn't limited to rainforests. Grasslands are plowed under for farms, wetlands are drained for development, and mountainsides are stripped for mining. Each of these habitats supports a unique community of plants that have adapted over thousands of years to live in those specific conditions. A plant that thrives in a marshy wetland cannot survive in a dry field of corn. When we convert these diverse natural landscapes into simplified, human-dominated ones, we systematically wipe out the specialized species that called them home. We are replacing a rich, complex mosaic of life with a uniform, sterile blanket. The main reason for this large-scale conversion of land is agriculture, especially for raising livestock and growing a few commodity crops like soy and palm oil. A huge portion of the world's farmland is used not to grow food directly for humans, but to grow feed for animals. This creates an enormous demand for land, pushing agriculture further and further into what's left of our natural world. We are trading irreplaceable biodiverse ecosystems that have taken millennia to develop for short-term production of a narrow range of goods. This is the #1 threat. The primary force pushing countless plant species toward the brink of extinction. The consequences of deforestation and habitat loss go far beyond just the loss of the plants themselves. It sets off a cascade of negative effects that can destabilize entire regions and even the entire planet. When a forest is cut down, we lose its ability to regulate the climate. As we discussed, trees are champions at absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When they are cut down and burned, all of that stored carbon is released back into the air, contributing to the greenhouse effect and accelerating global climate change. So, deforestation delivers a double blow. It removes the very thing that helps fight climate change while simultaneously releasing massive amounts of carbon that make the problem worse. The local and regional climate is also dramatically altered. Forests act like giant air conditioners and humidifiers. Their massive canopy provides shade, keeping the ground cool, and through transpiration, they release huge amounts of water vapor into the air. This moisture can form clouds and lead to regular rainfall. When the forest is gone, the bare soil absorbs more of the sun's heat, raising local temperatures. With fewer trees to release moisture, the air becomes drier, and rainfall patterns can be severely disrupted. This can lead to prolonged droughts in some areas and unpredictable extreme weather in others, making it harder for both nature and farmers to survive. Water systems are thrown into chaos. Without the forest's sponge effect, rainwater rushes over the surface of the land instead of soaking in. This leads to massive soil erosion, washing precious topsoil into rivers. The rivers become choked with sediment, which can harm fish and other aquatic life. It also increases the risk of downstream flooding, as the rivers can no longer handle the sudden rush of water. Furthermore, because the water isn't seeping into the ground to recharge aquifers, the water table can drop. This means wells can run dry, and the land becomes less able to support life during dry seasons. The loss of trees literally dries up the landscape. Ultimately, cutting down our forests disrupts the delicate natural balances that have kept our planet stable for millennia. These ecosystems are complex and interconnected, and we are only just beginning to understand how all the pieces fit together. Removing a cornerstone piece like a forest can cause the entire structure to become wobbly and unstable. We are conducting a dangerous, uncontrolled experiment on the only planet we have. The consequences of deforestation, higher temperatures, more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, disrupted water cycles, and increased soil loss, are not just local problems. They are global crises that affect every single one of us. In an ecosystem, every species has a role to play, and the loss of even a single plant species can be like pulling a card from the bottom of a house of cards. The whole structure might not collapse immediately, but it becomes weaker and more vulnerable, and other pieces will start to fall. This is because so many animals have evolved to depend on specific plants for their survival. The extinction of one plant can set off a chain reaction, a domino effect that can lead to the extinction of other species that relied on it. This highlights just how interconnected and fragile these natural systems truly are. Consider a specific example. There might be an insect that feeds only on the leaves of one particular type of plant. Its entire life cycle, from egg to adult, is tied to that plant. If that plant species disappears due to habitat loss, that insect has lost its only source of food and the only place to lay its eggs. It cannot simply switch to eating something else. As a result, the insect will go extinct too. Now think about a bird that specializes in eating that specific insect. With its food source gone, the bird population will decline, and it may also face extinction. This is how the loss of one plant can ripple up through the food chain. This interconnectedness isn't just about food. Some relationships are even more specialized. Many plants rely on a single type of bee, moth, or bat for pollination. The plant's flower might be the perfect shape and color to attract its one specific pollinator partner. If that pollinator disappears, the plant can no longer reproduce, and it is doomed to extinction. The reverse is also true. If the plant vanishes, its pollinator loses its primary source of nectar and will also disappear. This beautiful synchronized dance of coevolution, perfected over millions of years, can be broken in an instant, taking both partners down together. This domino effect weakens the entire ecosystem, making it less resilient to future challenges. A diverse ecosystem with many different plants and animals has multiple pathways for energy to flow and many species performing similar roles. If one species is lost, others can help fill the gap and the system can recover. But as we lose more and more species, the ecosystem becomes simplified and brittle. It loses its built-in insurance policy. The web of life begins to unravel, thread by thread, until it can no longer support the complex functions we all depend on, like clean air, clean water, and a stable climate. Every plant species, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is a crucial part of this web. The good news is that it's not too late. Scientists, conservationists, and citizens all over the world are working hard to protect our planet's precious plant biodiversity. It's a huge mission, but we have some amazing tools and strategies on our side. One of the most important strategies is the creation of seed banks. Think of a seed bank as a Fort Knox for plants, a secure vault where seeds from thousands of different plant species are carefully dried and stored at very cold temperatures. These banks are like a Noah's Ark for plants, preserving their genetic information for the future. They act as an insurance policy against disaster. These seed banks are incredibly important. If a plant species goes extinct in the wild, or if a particular crop variety is wiped out by a new disease, the seeds stored in these banks could be used to bring it back. Scientists are especially focused on collecting heirloom seeds, seeds from traditional crop varieties that have been passed down through generations of farmers. These older varieties often contain valuable genetic traits, like resistance to drought or pests, that have been lost in modern, mass-produced crops. By saving these seeds, we are creating a genetic library that future plant breeders can use to develop the crops we will need to survive in a changing world. Another powerful tool scientists are using is a technology called DNA barcoding. Just like a barcode in a supermarket scanner identifies a product, a DNA barcode uses a short, standardized segment of a plant's DNA to identify its species. This allows scientists to quickly and accurately figure out what a plant is, even from a tiny sample of a leaf or root. This is incredibly useful for cataloging life, especially in biodiversity hotspots where new species are being discovered all the time. As the saying goes, you can't protect what you don't know. DNA barcoding helps us create an inventory of life on Earth, sometimes identifying a species just before it disappears forever. Ultimately, the most effective way to save plant biodiversity is to protect the habitats where plants live. This means creating and expanding national parks and protected areas, practicing sustainable forestry and agriculture that works with nature instead of against it, and restoring degraded ecosystems by planting native trees and flowers. Conservation is a team sport. It requires governments to create strong environmental laws, scientists to provide the knowledge and tools, and all of us to make choices that reduce our impact on the planet. By supporting these efforts, we can help ensure that the seeds of tomorrow and the incredible green world they represent are safe.